What's up, everybody? It's your boy Flash here. I'm here with ALWT Things Gaming with my boy Aces. What up, Aces? How you doing today?
I'm all right. I'm doing pretty good.
All
Doing good
right.
so far.
Heard that. Heard that. How's things been for you throughout the whole pandemic time period? I know you work at a hospital, so it hasn't really slowed down for you.
It slowed down actually, but it's going back, getting back up to normal speed. So I guess people are turning back normal
Right,
for good
right.
or for worse.
Yeah, that's right. First and foremost, here at ALWT Things Gaming, we definitely want to wish everybody a belated Happy Father's Day. So thank you guys very much for everyone that said Happy Father's Day to Cam. Thank you very much, and then also Cam to you guys, Happy Father's Day. So we have quite a few things that we want to talk about today. First and foremost, okay, is going to be gaming news. This was actually leaked last week. Um, of course, for us, since our All Things Gaming is every Monday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, obviously we're not going to cover it immediately. But one of the biggest things that we want to talk about is the PS5 leaked price and date from Amazon in France. Trevin, Aces, what are your thoughts on that, man? Talk to me.
The prices don't seem as bad as I was scared that they was going to be. When I was first hearing it, I thought at first because of they were talking about the cooling system and how they was going to have to charge extra for it, that it was going to be actually in the range of 600.
Right.
But about five, it says about 550, right?
Yeah, it says
For
$549 before
five,
taxes, of
yeah.
course, with the disc version, $449 discless.
I'm probably gonna go with the disc version because I still like my disc every now and again to get one.
Right.
But that's not too bad. It's within reasonable. It's just I'm more worried about, like everybody's worried about with that. It's the time with the pandemic and everything. A lot of people are having problems finding jobs and stuff, and I've heard that could be an issue in the new consoles coming out.
Right. Which
It's just
honestly,
still
yeah, and honestly, that's why I'm thinking that part of the reason why Xbox and PlayStation were talking about having a lower amount of units being sold. I think that's one of the reasons why. It's just because again, pandemic's going on. The money that everyone's bringing in is probably not the same that they had before. It's just a whole
uh,
different time period. It's going to have consumers think a little differently. But let me ask you this though: do you think that those prices are locked in?
I don't know. It depends. I'm waiting to see what Microsoft move is. Are they going to try to undercut and force them down? Because I have a feeling Microsoft's going to do that.
Yeah, I mean
They
they're
are
going
the
to
type
have
of
to.
person that
Yeah, they're gonna have
I,
to because PlayStation just like announced Lockhart before before Xbox did. You know what I mean? So like it was just one of those things to where it's rumored out that Xbox is gonna have two different versions. They're gonna have the Xbox Series X, and then there's also Project Lockhart that they're working on. That's probably gonna be a stripped down version, anywhere between 200, even $100 from some people were saying. There's only been one person, Tim Geddes from Kind of Funny Games, that believes that it might even be $60. I don't think it's going to be that low.
no.
I definitely don't think it's going to be that low.
If it's
But
that low, you don't want it.
but yeah, I'm just saying in general though that you have all these rumors about Lockhart for Xbox, and then bam, 2 Thursdays ago, PlayStation's just like, all right, here's the disc version, discless. Like it just came in, and they pretty much just announced Lockhart before Xbox did. So I was about to say I'm kind of curious to see what Xbox is going to do. I'm actually very excited to see what Xbox is going to do. To be honest with you,
uh, I don't know. I mean, they really ain't said nothing, and the way they're going, I feel like they're not stating more on console sales than what they are on Xbox Live Game Pass. They've pushed heavy towards that, and I expect them to continue down that road. Basically, I don't. They probably know. I have a feeling that they're probably not going to beat them in console sales, but they know they have the edge in the Xbox Live Game Pass, and I feel like they're pushing towards that to make up the difference.
gotcha.
Either that or they're going to undercut the prices real low. Xbox is probably going to be, because of the amount of money they have,
Hmm.
they know they can afford to take a hit and they'll be fine.
And it just makes me wonder because again, like this is not one of the topics that we're kind of talking about. It kind of is, but kind of isn't. It makes you wonder what Xbox is going to do because they were one of the first to kind of show off their games for the next generation at the beginning of the year. Some of the games looked enticing. Again, it was kind of misleading because they labeled it as gameplay. It wasn't gameplay, the whole whatever. But again, like, it was very, like, everyone was at their homes recording it, which is completely understandable. COVID-19 was going on. It still is going on. But then you have PlayStation comes out and their presentation was super professionalized. And then right after that, I think it was last week, it was like EA. They had theirs. And theirs was super professionalized. So it was just like, these companies that are coming out with their games and their consoles and stuff like that are looking really good, and Xbox with the most money looks like they're struggling. like it's just like, what are they going to do next? Do you think they're going to take the route of it being like, all right, PlayStation did this, EA's done this, now we're going to go ahead and start showing off some more professionalized, prettied up version of our first gen games, or are we just going to go ahead and still have everything working from home?
I don't think they really have any at the ready. The ones I've seen so far they look magnificent. It's Halo 2 Infinite, and the other one is Hellblade 2, are mainly the main two I've seen so far that I can think of off the top of my head. But they have those five studios they bought, which I have a feeling that they're going to let them just do their work for now.
Yeah.
But I feel like they got to get something though out, because last gen, most of their games did not really hit home. None of the unique games hit home at all. The first party titles.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say, what do we get? I want to say they opened up with Sunset Overdrive, if I'm not mistaken, was one of them. Mm-hmm. You got another Gears of War, another 2 Gears of War. Mm-hmm. You got, which one? Was it Halo 5, I think? Which one? Halo. I think it was like Halo Spartans, which I heard wasn't that good. Actually.
I stopped after Halo 4, and I just heard it was just going downhill. Like a lot of especially when it comes to the campaign, it was just kind of going left. I could be completely wrong, but that's just the information that I've gotten concerning Halo.
I'm trying to think of any game like Crackdown 3. Nobody talked about that.
Right.
That one kind of came and went. What was that pirate game?
The pirate game.
They had a pirate game. Skull and Bones, a Band of Thieves or something.
I don't remember. I mean, I know Vikings. I know that. I don't know about no pirate game that's for the
Xbox. It was a Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I had to look that up.
You're good.
I couldn't remember the name of it because I heard it got like a ton of complaints. Mm-hmm. They supposedly fixed it.
So in your opinion for that, then, what does Xbox need to do to steal the spotlight again or become more relevant? Because again, in my book, and again, everyone has different opinions. You gotta have those people that are Xbox all day. Doesn't matter what PlayStation is going to do. Xbox is still the best system. And then you got people on the other side, Sony, that's just like, doesn't matter what Xbox does. PlayStation is the best system. And then of course you're going to have your PC gamers that's just like, neither one of you guys matter because PC is going to dominate. All right. So what does Xbox need to do to become more relevant in the competition for the 2021 race?
To be honest, it's still relevant.
Okay.
Xbox went a different approach. What they did was basically they sort of handed the first party title over. We're not going to win this, but we will win in the price game. So a lot of people were saying because of Xbox's low prices plus Game Pass, you got more access to games for a cheaper price, which was more bang for your buck. This is where that they actually were beating Sony at, because somebody did PlayStation Now versus Xbox Live Game Pass. PlayStation Now had about, they said like 2 million subscribers. Yep. Xbox Live had about 10 million.
Yep.
Yeah. This was the one area where Xbox was winning in the console wars. Mm-hmm. And that's where they seem to be going. And another thing they've been pushing for is more of an ecosystem, like more of merging everything together. So most games you can play, like I can play most games that I have on my console. Like I played Gears 4 either on the Xbox or I can just transfer the save. Will come upstairs and I can play it on my PC, and then I have the same save on it. And
Right.
these are like the two big things they've been really working on: merging with PC players and Xbox Live Game Pass. Now,
Right.
I suspect in the new Xbox era, they're going to work more on first party titles. And they showed that heavily during the last E3 convention. When you acquire those types of studios, you're basically saying, yeah, we're going to go all in against Sony in the first party and have stronger first party titles. And Phil Spencer and all of them have already said that.
Mm.
Because this last gen, and this is it's kind of sad actually, because when you think about it, the original Xbox was one of the cutting edge systems when it came out against the PlayStation 2. It was the first one to really incorporate a hard drive and have Xbox Live Game Pass. And then it just kind of fell off. And then Xbox One just pissed everybody off with the, online connect and having to be online 24 hours,
Right. Right.
which Sony quickly jumped on and just destroyed them.
Yeah.
So they kind of just got off on the wrong foot, and it just never caught up ever since.
Mm.
So they pretty much know, when you talk to Phil Spencer, and they pretty much know that about it. So I feel like that's the main way they're going to go, is make it more friendlier to people, and Xbox Live Game Pass and more exclusives.
Right.
How it's going to become
Go ahead.
I said how they're going to become stronger is going to be just in the first Xbox Live first party titles. They have to get good ones.
Yeah, and I think that because even if they, all right, so first and foremost, I personally think Xbox can knock it out the park if they decide to bring back Def Jam Fight for New York. You know what I mean? If they have a Def Jam Fight for New York remastered, granted that's not Xbox exclusive, but if they're able to really show it off, like maybe have a timed exclusivity, just like kind of how PlayStation's been doing lately and all that good stuff, before it's going over to PC or before it's even shared with Xbox. If they can do that, I mean, that would entice me more to go ahead and get an Xbox Series X. You know what I mean? If they have more games like that, because Fight for New York was that game, man. That was that.
Have
game.
a huge library of such good games.
Yeah.
They just never tap into it.
Yeah, if they bring out Bloody Roar, same thing. Bloody Roar, Fight for New York, like all those games would be awesome if they decide to bring it.
Bloody Roar is kind of stuck in like limbo. Nobody knows where it was part of Hudson, and then Hudson got bought by somebody. Then it just disappeared off the map.
Was it THQ? Is that what it was?
I think, I'm not sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll have to look into that a little later.
But they have a huge library of games. I mean, they had one of mine is Lost Odyssey, for example.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of Lost Odyssey. And they never released a sequel to it. They was trying to break into the Japanese market, because around that time, Sony had a stranglehold on it. So they released a series of games, like I think it was that one, Infinite Undiscovery, Star Ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a Star Ocean that came out on Xbox.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I remember that.
They have so many good exclusives. They just never touch them.
Yeah, and that's
even
that's
Phantom.
I was about to say that's something that they need to explore a little bit more on. I mean, because again, like you said, right now for this generation, they're taking a more of a consumer-friendly approach as far as your wallets go. But again, like just the content itself for the overall gamer. Me personally, and I know Ohio disagrees with me on this, but me personally, PlayStation has more to speak to me than Xbox does. That's the reason why, for me, PlayStation is the better system. Again, for me. Not saying that it has better technology, because it doesn't. There's some things that Xbox does better. There's some things that PlayStation does better. But one of the things that's a driving selling point for me is the games that's out. Final Fantasies. They got me. Because again, back in the day, before, and I won't go too long into this, because again, we want to make sure we're on hitting all these points, because we've got a lot to talk about today. But back in the day, I was just playing racing games, sports games, and a few fighting games. I didn't really get inside adventure games until Final Fantasy really changed my perspective on that. And I said that, I think, on the first episode. You guys hear me say it again on the third episode. So, still wrapping up the segment of the Amazon France dropping the price and the date. The date is November 20th is what they listed on their site. Do you
Ooh,
think?
that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, and that happens to be, which we're also going to talk about. That actually kind of segues into the next point. That happens to be the day right after Cyberpunk 2077 is supposed to drop, because they pushed that back again as well. So my question to you is do you think that that's going to be official, with it becoming from a pretty liable business? Do you think that's going to be official for the release date? Do you think the prices are going to stand? Do you think that Xbox is going to win in the undercutting system console war?
Um, Let me get all three questions right. Okay, so the first one is the prices. The price and the date. It seemed pretty legit because they pulled it down really quick. As soon as it came out, it came back down, and this was Amazon France.
Yeah.
It may have been a very legit thing, but the prices, it depends. Like I said, it really depends on what Xbox does. And the other question, will they win or not? It depends again on Xbox. They've remained quiet again. They haven't really dipped into what their first party titles are. I mean, like I said,
go ahead.
Like I said, they have a huge library to dip into. I was excited. It was about Bob when I heard Phantom Dust was going to come out re-release.
Yeah.
And then they never re-released it. And then they canceled all the good titles.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why that happens, but do you think PlayStation could go even lower? Or do you think that they're pretty solid at $449 and $549 or $549?
It really depends on how low Xbox goes.
You think even with the technology that's currently in the PlayStation 5 with the SSDs, all that good stuff?
They both will have SSDs, but I don't think
right.
The only difference is, from what I'm hearing, Sony's going to have the powerful SSD. Xbox has ways to work around that.
Mm-hmm. So with that, even because they're not, obviously the design is done, they've already given us the specs and everything like that. Do you think there's even a possibility of them going lower, or do you think that Xbox, they go to 300, for example? Do you think PlayStation will still stay at 449 just because of how much they put inside the system?
I have a feeling they might have to drop.
I'm kind of thinking the same thing. I'm with you on
because that. To be honest, you don't want to start out behind, and you do not want to give Xbox that big of a gap in between.
Mm-hmm.
If this is what happened on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 3 had a monster. It's about, what was it, $600 price tag on there.
Mm-hmm. There's two
and
for that.
Yeah. And the PlayStation, I mean, not PlayStation, but the Xbox 3 is about, what was it, $400 or $500?
Yeah. There was it was like, I think it was even 300. I think it was pretty low. I don't think it was more than.
Yeah.
It definitely was not more than 400 for sure.
And the thing about it is, the times we're going into, you kind of don't want to give them that advantage. Because people will look at price, especially with this pandemic, and so many people may be out of a job, and people might not have money like that to just buy a huge console. They may just buy their kid, here you go, little Timmy. This may not be a PlayStation, but it's an Xbox. It does the same thing.
Close enough.
Yeah. So
that's what I'm talking about. All right. So let me ask you this then as well. And this will wrap up this portion of the Amazon France. And kind of funny games have mentioned this too before. You get the PS5, you get the digital version. That 100% cuts out the middleman. That cuts out GameStop. That cuts out Best Buy. That cuts out Walmart. You are now making 100% revenue off of the games that you're selling through the digital versions of PS5. Do you think that at that point that they can sell it for as less as 300?
No, they won't. I've learned this from playing on PC as long as I have. We've been buying games digitally for years, and the thing about it is, a lot of these newer games still, even though they're discless versions, they're digital, they still sell for $60.
Mm-hmm.
The sheer power alone that they put in that system is they'll still take a loss. The question is, if you go 300, you're going to lose a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really a matter of how much can you afford to lose and get away with. Because you have to make up the difference somewhere. Most of the time, they'll sacrifice on the consoles to make up with the software. I mean, the software sales, because the games really are the selling point of the console, not so much the consoles for the games.
Okay.
Where Xboxes could differ is that Xbox more or less dabbles in both markets. So they dabble with the console Xbox, but they also dabble in PC. I've seen PlayStation starting to get involved. I've seen Horizon recently was posted on Steam along with Persona 4, and I even heard rumors. I think Persona 5 might be going on the PC. So
Golden.
I'm not sure which Persona 5, but I've been hearing more about Persona 5 maybe coming to PC. I don't know or not if it's already out or what.
Yeah, I know the Golden. They had mentioned that at the PC gaming event that me and Richard covered a few Saturdays back, and it was officially on the Steam.
Okay.
Yeah, it was officially on Steam.
Okay. No, that's Persona 4.
That was Persona 4 one? Okay. I was about to say,
I bought Persona 4 day one.
It's
such a fun game. It is priced excellently. It's priced at $20, so it was a good deal for it.
Okay. Going on to the next segment. So, Cyberpunk 2077. It is delayed again, Aces. It has been delayed again. However, we don't have to wait as long as it was before. We're supposed to come out. Remember, this was supposed to come out at the beginning of this year. It was supposed to come out at the beginning of this year. Pushed all the way back till, I think it was September, October. Now it's been pushed back again to November. First question is, do you think that Cyberpunk 2077 will finally release this year? And then two, do you think that it would be worth getting it on the PS4, Xbox One, or should people just go ahead and just buy it straight up on the Xbox Series X and PS5?
It really boils down to your console. If you got a PS4, I would say if you got a PS5, I'm saying whatever console you got on, you buy it on. Mm-hmm. If I got a PS5, I'm probably going to buy it starter on a PS5. That'd probably be the first game I buy straight out.
Yeah.
Because I love CD Projekt Red. They usually make pretty good games, and having a bit of a delay on the game, it sucks, but it's CD Projekt Red. They take their time, and what you get out of it is an excellent game. The Witcher 3 is still one of the top games of all time for its content and its value overall.
Do you think that Cyberpunk 2077, I mean, because you already have a lot of contenders this year to be Game of the Year, do you think that Cyberpunk 2077, after everything that's been revealed and exposed to right now, and even out right now, do you think that's going to be Game of the Year?
It can easily be. It is a CD Projekt Red game. Mm-hmm. And if it's as good as it looks, and if they have as many choices as they do, it can easily go and become Game of the Year. I'm trying to think of the other games which will be its contenders for this year.
There are a few, but again, like the hype behind Cyberpunk 2077 is really high. It's been trying to come out for a while now. The contenders that's on my list:
Final Fantasy VII,
Final Fantasy VII Remake, Last of Us Part 2, even Ghost of Tsushima snuck its way up there now. That's even snuck its way up there. And then also there's that possibility. Now I don't know if this would actually go with it, just because again it's more like a First Light type of game. But Spider-Man, that 2020. Miles Morales, now that that's been revealed to come out this year, that might also possibly be a Game of the Year type game. So I'm just kind of curious now, what is it going to be? Because again, like when you talk about certain genres, to me, Final Fantasy has the RPG lockdown already. Love that. And then I haven't even played it yet, but Cyberpunk 2077 will be more of that. I can't even say. I don't even know what genre to put that in, to be honest with you.
Genre. Have you ever played Deus Ex?
No, actually I haven't. I know you. Hold on, I'm gonna take care of that. That
all right.
Thing real fast. That beeping. I'll be right back.
Okay. We are now in the first commercial break.
All right. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So go ahead. Deus Ex.
Deus Ex is probably going to be one of the closest things to it. It had a lot of choices, and you can pick what happens to mankind. You get to pick your side. Like I always remember Deus Ex Human Revolution, and what was the other one? Deus Ex Invisible Warfare, where you would like genetically alter your person. You could put like different cybernetics into them, drones, and you had like, what was it, like 4 to 5 different endings. One of them was like if you made a deal with the black market and gave them the code, it would bring about the end of the war, and only the Omar would be able to survive it.
So it had the BioWare effect?
Sort of BioWare, but it had a series of different choices to where you could.
Yeah, that's what BioWare does. Mass Effect, Dragon Age.
There was a way actually in Human Revolution, from what I heard, I never did it, to where I think you could get through the game without combat.
Huh.
Now, I've never tried this because I always end up biting.
Right.
And I never could do sneaking parts, right? Like, I used to play Hitman, I always got like mass murder or something because I could never hide the guns right. And somebody would always find them, and then you just you end up shooting everybody in the place. But it's down, it will be a cyberpunk style game, literally, what it's called. It's the genre it's in. It will be an RPG where you would have stats and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get to upgrade them, level them up, all that good stuff. I think the closest I've ever came to something like that I can think of off the top of my head, and don't kill me for this, guys. Don't kill me for this. But it's Binary Domain back on PS3. That's the closest thing I can think of that would be kind of closest to this genre that I have ever played, really.
Binary Domain.
Yeah.
I think I have that actually.
You probably
I've never played it.
Yeah, it was. I beat the game a long time ago, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. I don't think I don't recall there being any decision paths like you can on Detroit Become Human and Jade Empire and all that good stuff. I don't recall that being a scenario, being an issue, or not being an issue, but being a feature. But I mean, I'm just kind of curious to see how that's going to plan out, because again, like the graphics on Cyberpunk 2077 looks amazing. They look really good. Saw a little bit of gameplay that looks good. I'm just kind of curious of what's going to happen, because right now the #1 spot, no surprise to anybody for me, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Can't wait for Part 2 to come out, and we just got to see what's going to go on. But there's a lot of really great contenders for 2020.
This will be. The Last of Us 2 is doing excellent. I've been hearing a lot of good.
And honestly, for you guys, anyone that's watching right now, you guys can actually go back and watch my live stream that I did this past Friday on Twitch. And you'll be in. Now, granted, do not watch it. Do not watch it if you have not played or haven't beaten the first one. Do not watch it.
Yeah, I'm not. That's why I'm not watching it right now.
Yeah, it is. It gets crazy. It gets crazy. There's a few people that chimed in and watched the live that I did on YouTube. That's how it's going to go. I'm going to put it on YouTube first for the live stream. That is because my PlayStation's connected directly to that, and then I'll just go ahead and have it on Twitch and Patreon.com and all the other social media platforms that you guys can check out. And we'll go over that at the end of the show. But yeah, but it's good. It's good. Once it hits that hour 45, hour 50ish mark, dude, it hits home, and that's when you see why Ellie's about to go on her revenge. You're about to see it, and it gets crazy. And that's not a spoiler. You guys already know that The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be a revenge run, and yeah, she goes on it, and you see exactly why. And oh my goodness, man, it hits so different. And here's the part that's crazy. Not to spend too much time on this. Trevor, you get me all over sidetracking everything. You're good. You're good. This is what I love. This is what I like to talk about. But yeah, I mean, like, this one is crazy because when you play the game and you go back and you watch the trailer, you watch some of the pictures and stuff like that, like see some of the pictures and everything, you look at it and you have a whole different type of emotion. Just because now you're just like, crap, now I see why what they are like this now. I see why this scene is very dramatic, and it hits you right in the jugular, man. It hits you so hard. So, next set of news: The Last of Us. Look at that. You're just segueing us right onto the next topic. That's what I'm talking about. Last of Us Part 2 broke records. All right. It has surpassed, I think it was in UK, it surpassed Uncharted by like 1%, which is not a lot. But again, Uncharted is already a great Naughty Dog series. You know what I mean? And it beat Animal Crossing by 40%, which happened to be one of the highest selling games during this time period at the beginning of this year. Let's talk about that for a minute.
If you played Animal Crossing, you would understand.
Right.
Oh my God, we've played that so much on the GameCube when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
When we was younger, we had that. Me and my sister and them would send messages to each other and send gifts. It was retarded. I couldn't believe it sunk so many hours into it.
And it's like one of those, like, if you ever played Harvest Moon or anything like that, it's very simulator based almost. And it's one of those things where there's no plot, there's no objective. You're just in there living in a whole new fantasy type of world. Anything is possible, and it's a little cutesy, cool type game. Not for me, but I know a lot of people that likes playing it. However, it did shock me that it was one of the top sellers at the beginning of this year. That is the part that I just do not understand.
Like I said, if you play it, you understand.
I just don't understand it, man. Like, I just did not get that. But I mean, the only thing I can think of is that the pandemic worked in their favor. Like, everyone's at home, they want to go outside. Let's just go inside Animal Crossing. That's the only thing I can think of. Because I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
It's like one of those incidents where you probably don't realize you sunk so much time. Like, one time I was looking at, what game was it? Oh, I looked at my Skyrim records on PC. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I didn't realize I sunk over 700 hours into that game.
Well, even so, Skyrim makes more sense than Animal Crossing. If you said that for
I didn't
Animal
even know.
Crossing, I would be like, what have you been doing for 700 hours, Trevin?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah. Okay. Crash Bandicoot 4 has been... there was leaks about it before. Now it's been official. And actually, today, June 22nd, I think is the date, Monday, they had officially dropped on, I think it's a Summerfest for Summerfest Gaming is when they're going to go more into detail about that. Naughty Dog is going to talk about that, but it's dropping not only on PS4 but Xbox One as well. That's actually kind of big. That's actually kind of big because again, this is Naughty Dog, which is primarily PlayStation, 99% PlayStation. So
I've been noticing that from the two new studios, from most of these new studios now, even though they're considered like underneath the umbrella of PlayStation or underneath the umbrella of Xbox, they've been given a more leeway to just go in between with some of them. Now, not with the franchise games, so you won't see, like, for example, The Last of Us drop on Xbox,
right?
But certain games like Crash Bandicoots is what system that dropped on originally? PS1. PlayStation, right?
Yeah, PlayStation 1.
That one I think they've let them go more in between with, which is kind of weird. But I've seen what, like I said, during the last, what was that? E3 I watched. Xbox was doing the same thing with Hellblade, for example.
Yeah.
Which Hellblade dropped on both consoles. And even though they have now Team Ninja underneath the umbrella, they're saying basically they're letting them do pretty much whatever they want. Mm-hmm. Which, I guess, it works. Let them do what they want. And hopefully they come up with something big for you.
Right. Yeah, and I was about to say, I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's cool that for anyone that's never been able to play Crash Bandicoot because you've always ever only lived Xbox, now you guys get a chance to see it. And it's one of those games that back in the day makes no sense. It's like a 3D-ish Mario type setup. And it's just
hard.
It's just a fun, stupid game to play and run away from big boulders, getting flattened, all that good stuff. Eating apples, the whole nine. It was just a really fun type obstacle game to play.
It was a hard game. It was not easy at all to beat.
Ghost of Tsushima Aces has gone gold. Ghost of Tsushima has gone gold, and they are ready for July. So, What are your thoughts on Ghost of Tsushima, just from what you have seen?
It looks interesting, but I've not did enough on there. It's one of those games I kind of keep on the back of my mind, but it's not a game I've really had on the top of my radar. It looks kind of soulsy,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like I think it's like a Dark Souls style. And if for some reason it kind of reminded me of Sekiro,
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was about to say.
so I kind of ignored it, but it looks interesting.
Yeah, I was about to
The
say.
more,
Yeah, it looks more like Sekiro died twice for me.
yeah, that
Um,
was
yeah, it looks more like that for me. But I also get the vibe if anybody has ever played back in the day on PS1, Bushido Blade 2. So that game in that game was a fighter set up like Tekken and uh, Soul Calibur and everything like that. But the thing that made this game unique is that if you got hit in a vital portion one time by a sword or anything like that, by even by a gun,
okay.
guns you didn't really see a whole lot at all in that game. But there's some people that did. It will bring out a gun real quick, put it back away. If you got hit by any of those points in a vital location, you automatically died.
Yeah, my friend used to just throw a sword.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that was it. That was one of the things that he could do. He could throw a sword like, oh, catch up, all that. So it was
Yeah, he was just dying instantly. It was like, what
yeah,
the heck? I
yeah.
didn't get a chance to even play the game.
Yeah, that game could be a game that can last 20 seconds or 20 minutes. It was one of those types of games that's just like you're on edge. Anybody can beat anybody, and I love that. And I think that's one of the things that's drawing me to Ghost of Tsushima. But also on top of that, it kind of gives me the Way of the Samurai type vibe. Because if you played any of the Way of the Samurais, I think they started coming out on Way of the Samurai on PS2 and
I've
started
seen
making.
where the Samurai 4.
Yeah, they got the Way of the Samurai 4. I think is the last one they did. So there's Way of the Samurai, then Way of the Samurai 2, and that one was started getting really good. Way of the Samurai 3, there was like two factions, two different sides, and then Way of the Samurai 4, I've actually never played, but I want to go back. I honestly want to play them all because that was a game that you can, whatever you decided to do would be the outcome. Like if you wanted to be a rogue for everybody, you could. If you wanted to side with this a faction, you could. If you wanted to side with this faction, you could. It was like it was really really cool. My buddy Jake, me and him were playing that back in the day, back on PS2, and he chose to be a solo player. And so both sides of the factions, he wiped them all out. He was the last man standing. It was just like one of those. It was really, really cool that you can actually have that type of feature in a game. And I'm wondering if Ghost of Tsushima is going to have that. And the way that's set up, like they really dove inside the Japanese culture, and it looks like a beautiful game. It really does. Kind of gives me Last Samurai vibes. So I'm very excited for it. And to hear that it's gone gold and ready for next month, that's a win. That's a win right there.
For me, it kind of gives me a. I don't know if you ever heard of this. You ever heard of Jinra Onimusha? This was an
Onimusha, yeah,
old,
yeah, Onimusha,
yeah,
yeah,
old PlayStation game
yeah.
that was like incredibly hard. It was just frustratingly hard.
Mm-hmm.
That one, it kind of gave me that and Noi.
No, okay, Neo.
Neo, yeah,
Neo,
I
yeah.
suck at that name.
You're
It's like,
good,
no.
man. You're good. Yeah, actually, I do have Neo 2, since it was a free on the PlayStation Plus, which we'll give you guys your PlayStation Plus reminders at the end of the video. But yeah, I actually have Neo 2 if you guys ever want to jump on that. So back to you, Aces.
It kind of gives me that vibe because it looks like that style of game too. And like I said, it's going to have probably a Souls edge, so where if you die, you might lose XP of some kind or something when you have to go retrieve it or something.
I'm just kind of curious how that's going to work between the samurai and the ghost. I'm just really curious because it's definitely story driven, and it sounds like you can choose to play as the samurai the whole time. It'll just be a lot harder if you play as the samurai the entire time. And like you can switch between the ghost and the samurai. It's not like this decision that you make, it will automatically make you the ghost, or this decision that you make will automatically make you the samurai. It looks like you actually can switch between the entire game, the whole playthrough, as a ghost or as the samurai, which is definitely really interesting. It's a different take. Yeah. And then on top of that, the side quests are very unique because you already know, again, Japanese culture, really one with the earth, one with nature, the whole nine. So you could just be walking down the street, you see a little fox, and that's a side quest, and that fox will lead you to an area to either get some loot, maybe maybe someone's in trouble, maybe someone's needs help with something, the whole nine, like that, or maybe like a little bird will lead you to the next quest or something. I'm not sure how that's all going to work, but yeah, but that's the way they kind of painted it, and it looks really, really interesting to me.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Because I know they have like a lot of spirits in there, like kitsune, stuff like that, probably in there.
Mm-hmm. Next on the agenda. Okay, and this is last actually on the agenda for news updates and everything like that. Aces. If I wanted to get notifications for the PlayStation 5 pre-orders, did you know that you can go to GameStop, Target, and Best Buy and sign up there and get notified?
Pretty much I do now.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, there you have it. So yeah, so if you guys, I mean, I went ahead and signed up for all three. Probably only need to sign up for one, to be honest with you, but I want to get the news as much as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can go to. I found this out from GameSpot.com. You can go to GameStop and sign up for the notifications of when the pre-orders will go live. You can do the same thing for Target. You can do the same thing for Best Buy. Chances are I'll probably get my PS5 from GameStop, unless Walmart has it earlier released or something like that, because I want to get my hands on the PS5 as soon as possible, for sure.
Probably, I could almost bet it's going to be a midnight release.
It probably will, and that's going to be some time I'm going to have to schedule some vacation time, if you know what I mean. So I got to make sure I can get myself.
I got mine set up and ready.
There
Just
you go.
Putting the dates and
yep.
Watch them complain the whole time. You want a whole week off? Yeah, don't complain. Yep. I keep complaining. I'll take two.
Yeah, we got, and of course, you already know. I mean, again, from at least we tried gaming. Me and Aces, Bleeding Aces, right here. We are planning on getting it day one. Others are still looking into it. From at least we try gaming, so you may not get the same content from them, but from us two that's on this video right now, you are for sure going to get 100% PS5 content from us. I will be picking up Godfall since that should be a released game, and then I'm also going to be porting on over some of my PS4 games as well. The ones that can be ported over, I believe all of them can be, but
okay, I was about to ask that. What kind of game can be ported? Because I do still want to take certain games and play them over there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they all can be. There's actually, because they only did a test with PlayStation's top most 100 played games in the PSN store. They did a test with that, and after that, because a lot of people were taking that as it being only 100 games could be played on the PS4, which was actually false. They just did a test. But it turns out that most, if not all, games should be backwards compatible with the PS4.
I think after this generation, they learned, because to be honest, it was actually one of their biggest requests on the PlayStation 4 was what they could do, and it was something that people wanted was backwards compatibility,
right?
The ability to take your games with you,
right?
So you have the same life.
Yeah, and that's always a beautiful feature to have. It's not necessary, but it's always a great feature to have. Definitely very more convenient. As you mentioned before, off record when we were talking, you would like to have everything in a sold place. You can just pack up your PS4, pack up your PS2, pack up your PS3, put it away if you want to. Everything's now on your PS5, and you don't have to worry about extra wires or anything like that. So it's definitely a really, really convenient feature, and it's a nice feature.
Yeah.
But me, primarily as an individual, as a consumer, I'm very excited on what's going to be happening here in the future. Of course, when Malachi grows up, I definitely want him to have that same little experience that I had as far as like games go, for like the old school Crash Bandicoots, the old school Marios, all that good stuff. However, for me as a consumer, I want to see what the future is going to hold for me, future of gaming. So that will wrap that up. You had some stuff for me, sir, for high res, and what was the other one? You had some stuff for us. Go ahead and share that with us. Their Aces.
All right, I seen that they had they had a game coming out, actually, Rogue Company. Okay. Sort of like a cross between, I don't know, it's kind of like a cross between a MOBA, not a MOBA, but a what's it? Kind of like Fortnite, but mixed with kind of like Overwatch.
Okay.
Overwatch mixed with kind of like that 100v100. I can't think of the term for that right now.
Battle Royale?
Battle Royale, yes, that word.
As long as you didn't say Battleborn, we're good to go.
Oh God, nobody remember that. You can say that all day. I don't remember that.
Yep, yep.
Battleborn.
All right.
It looks okay. I haven't really. They have right now. They have a sign up for an alpha currently in productions.
Okay.
I also think what was that? Fanatico had a. This is for PC though, but it had a huge red hot sale going on right now. It just started today, but they have like. I'm looking at some of the deals. They got like sleeping dogs for $3.
That's a steal. That's true. That's a steal, guys. If you guys have not played Sleeping Dogs,
There's
don't
no
pick it
excuse
up.
not to play.
Yeah,
If you
that
got
is
a
a steal.
PC,
That is one McChicken. That is one McChicken. Put it down. Get Sleeping Dogs. That is the way to go.
yeah, there's
That
no
is a
excuse
steal.
not to buy it
That's a
right
steal.
now.
That's true crimes. That's true crimes at its finest. That's a steal. What was the other update that you gave me?
I'm looking at them now. I was looking up the Steam Summer Sale. Oh, okay, that's starting on the 25th of June to the 9th of July was the other one.
Okay, 25th of June.
And
So
that's
that's coming up soon.
yeah, where they just going in the same markdown. So if you have like PC and stuff, it's a good way to buy, which probably means that basically they're going to be. I don't know. PlayStation should be starting up theirs. The console should be starting up theirs pretty soon. Usually around June, July, that's where a lot of summer sales do start.
Well, we had one. I think we just had Days of Play.
That was the
That's still going on right now. So yeah, so they probably will be having another one here coming up soon.
yeah. I haven't checked. Oh, let me bring up Xbox real quick for our Xbox fans. Where's the store at?
And
Give me a sec.
notice Xbox fans that Aces got you covered. We're not discriminating. These are all video games. We love all video games here at ALWT Gaming.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm a PC fan, so
I'm gonna have both PC and PS4 now. Thanks to again a few of the ALWT staff and cast. Thank you guys very much. But I for one am more of a PS4 type of guy. I'm a PlayStation guy. That's what made me a gamer. However, I will not exclude PC. I will not exclude Xbox. I will not exclude Wii. What's not Wii? What's it called? Switch. I will not exclude Switch. All right. If there's a good game that I'm inclined to get and inclined to play, by all means, I'll try to make it happen. And as he's looking that up, just want to give you guys a few reminders for anyone that is on PlayStation. Your free monthly plus subscription games are going to be Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and Call of Duty. Which right now we got Warzone, so it'll just be nice to kind of put that in your back burner.
Yeah.
If you ever want to play it. But again, gamer tags here are going to be listed below. Mine is Malachi36, Bleeding Aces on PSN. Feel free to add us. Subscribe to us, follow us, the whole nine. We'll be glad to game with you guys because we love you guys.
yeah, it looks like that's already started. So we missed that one. Looks like it started. Yeah, I started on June 15th. Well, we haven't missed it yet. It started on June 15th, but it might be still going. Should I free Xbox games? What the heck? I ain't gonna play with the website. I hate playing with the website. I'll give you the free. Let me give you the free Epic game.
Free Epic Games. Here we go.
Once it decides to boot up.
Well, we're going to go ahead and go on to the next portion because we're kind of crunching now.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. So the Army of Two games. Earlier this past week, Aces and I, we had played for the first time together Spellbreak. We played Spellbreak, and I had a good time with it. It was hard. We didn't survive very long, but I had a good time with it. And here's a little bit of footage of that. Alright. There we go. Oh! Yeah. Oh, you died too? Okay, yep. And so, yeah, so aces for that, for Spellbreak. What, first and foremost, what was your favorite power? What was your favorite ability? And then second, what were your thoughts about the way that the game played?
I thought it's kind of fun. It's just basically, wow, you do not live long at all.
Facts.
It's pretty much one mistake, or if somebody dives on you, your chances of survival just take a nosedive. It's not like sometimes when you would survive, let's say on Fortnite, because you start bunny hopping on that guy, you take one shot, let's say you drop a guy's shield, and then he just builds the Eiffel Tower around him, and you can't touch him the rest of the match. This is one of those games to where you have to be aware at almost all times at what's going on and who's around you.
Yep. Takes skill too. A lot of skill.
As for my favorite element, I actually am a huge fan of poison.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of my favorite elements in most games. I use a lot of poison.
Okay.
I personally, it's okay. I mean, I think it needs a little bit more. I would say leniency because, good Lord, I got erased before I even knew what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, a guy just dives down with like bombs, looking like a Michael Bay movie, and it's just a ball, a little orb floating there, and that's it.
And the beauty about it too is that right now we're still in beta for Spellbreak, so there's still a lot
Yeah.
of time for them to make adjustments, all that good stuff. There's on going on to my critique for that. I like the game. I did like it. I think I got to give it of a more of a good college try in order for me to get good at it, or at least decent at it. Because right now I'm terrible. But I also would like to try it with the controller because I tried it with keyboard and mouse, and I felt like I was overshooting a lot of stuff. And my favorite element was ice because you can actually shoot the ground and skate on it, and I thought that was so cool. I felt like Frozone from The Incredibles, man. It felt so good.
I didn't about to say that.
Yeah, it felt amazing. So I definitely like that. I had a minor lag issues, just a little bit, and probably my first game. But ultimately, I did thoroughly enjoy it, and hopefully, honestly, if you're free tonight, man, I'd like to try to do some more testing with you on that too tonight. See how we like it. See if we're getting any better, or if it's just a one-time fluke that we were just sucking that bad. Because I'm actually pretty good at Apex. I'm pretty good at Warzone. Fortnite, I will never touch again in my life. But I mean, that's just hey that.
One day I'm gonna join them.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna join on one day.
Yeah.
I gotta join them.
That one, I think I'm done with Fortnite. I mean, if I have friends that are begging me to play it, then I might just go ahead and jump on with you guys for a few matches. But after we're done playing, it's getting deleted again off my system. I just can't. I can't do it.
I am not a huge Fortnite fan myself. I'm not gonna lie about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. It's like mostly kids, or it's one of those. It's like the Call of Duty fans moved to Fortnite. Because good Lord, it's you can tell it's toxicity over there, but I guess it's not as bad because they don't talk as much, and you just disconnect when you leave a match. So, and number two, it's not really unique. When it first came out, yeah, it was kind of like against PUBG. It had a thing where you could build against it and all that, but that was its mainstay. But ever since then, it's just been stealing from other games.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, we don't have a respawn thing. Well, we would just steal that from Apex Legend along with their pinging system. You know, we'll steal both that and call it a day. Yeah. It's a new feature. Well, we need something different. Well, Titanfall's got mechs. Take that. So you just threw a mech in the game, and there you go.
Yeah.
It's more a game for kids.
Pretty much.
I seen one that looked unique. I think it was called Shadow Arena.
That sounds familiar.
It's sort of like Spelllock. What was this?
Spellbreak?
spell break. I'm confusing all my games. It's sort of like spell break, but you can play as like an assassin, a warrior. You can use spells, or you can use swords, or you can sneak up behind people and assassinate them.
Hmm.
I seen this on. I just got a code for this, and it's on Steam. So I figured I was going to give it a shot one day. I just downloaded it.
Okay. Yeah.
Haven't
Yeah.
touched
We
it
can
yet.
give that a shot. Yeah, we could definitely check that out, man. Yeah, definitely, definitely. It is time for hello. My name is Randy. So, Aces.
Yeah.
Since last Monday, has there been any random player encounters that you had that was good or that was bad that you want to talk about today?
We had both because, to be honest, I'm still playing Smite, and for some reason, Cthulhu's still in the game. And for some reason, he's still allowed to put out ungodly amounts of damage and just cover for how bad the rest of your team can just outright suck.
Mhm.
And they got to do something about it. There's no reason why this guy is putting out as high damage. He's put out maybe usually about the first or second highest amount of player damage, plus the most damage mitigated in a single match.
Yep. And high res, listen to my boy Trev here. Listen to my boy Aces, because he knows what he's talking about. I was in that match. Me, Ohio, and Bleedingaces, we were playing Joust. Joust, I mind you. We were playing Joust. This Cthulhu built nothing magical damage at all. And beat every single one, everybody on, not even his own teammates. He outplayed them in damage by 10,000 damage. Let that sink in. Look what you guys did. That is your monster. Please do something about Cthulhu. All right.
And I done seen a lot of. We done ran into a lot of crazy people. It's that I think I've ran into more of them now at ESO because the last time we played, we had this guy that kept complaining, but it's his fault. When you playing it, I'm playing healer match, so I'm gonna stick to the group. If you go far out to the left, and this is the thing for anybody that's going to DPS, try to stay with the group. Don't go far out to the left and expect me to run out there to save you and then try to run back to the group. It doesn't work. I let people die. If they're that dumb to stay out there, when I used to play World of Warcraft, our rogue went ahead of the group and pulled another group. I just let them die. Because to be honest, if you're that dumb to go out and by yourself and go past the tank, I'll get you later.
Yep, you missed your stop.
yeah, that's your fault. We also had. Oh, okay, going ahead.
For my Randy situations, it's actually going to be a little different than Ace's here. Mine was actually on PC. Mine was on the League of Legends. So, again, most people know that I just recently picked up League of Legends, and not League of Legends, but just picked up my PC. With that being said, I haven't played League of Legends in years. Muizi, which is again one of my childhood buddies. We previously we were playing League of Legends, and I wanted to try to get back into the swing of it. I picked Ashe. Was doing what I could. Actually, was not doing bad. I was actually getting more CC than their AD carry, which was always a plus. Getting more creep kills and all that good stuff. Always a good way to do. We had a Warwick who refused to gank bottom lane. We had a what's that dude with the scythe? He's like half horse, so he can grab and pull you in, and he's support. I can't remember his name.
You talking about Thresh?
Thresh, yes. I had a Thresh, which was he was doing okay. I think I missed my ult like maybe twice, but other than that, I hit all my other ults. And there's a few times where I was trying to get fed, and this Warwick, which I will not say his gamer tag, kept on stealing my kills and had the audacity to tell me that I'm sucking and to ask me to uninstall the game. You already know about those MOBA type games in Call of Duty. There are always going to be toxic players out there that will always have that whole thing, never play it again, get offline, something like that. You're always going to have that in there. This Warwick did have a lot of kills. More than half of them were just stolen from me. And again, if you play a game like that, it's feed your carry. That's what you do. You know what I mean? And it doesn't help that he was never bottom lane when we had opportunities to win it. He just was not trying to be a team player on that one. So yeah, so that's my Randy situation. Really wasn't the funnest, and I would even put that above the Cthulhu matches we've been having. so that's my Randy moment for the week. The next segment, because we're actually wrapping it up here soon. All right. And if you guys are wanting to look more inside at least we try gaming content and all that good stuff, or anything like that, just feel free to follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. It's pretty much ALWT Gaming for everything. Twitter is actually going to be a little different. It's at we_tried. And we lease. It's at we_lease. That is how it is for Twitter. Everything else is ALWT Gaming. One word. If you're looking up on YouTube, you can do it at least we try gaming or ALWT space gaming. Either way will pop up. And then, of course, if you guys want to leave any donations, become a member for our group. And actually, we're going to be having really exclusive content coming out here soon, where there's going to be gear. Maybe even some. Yes, I'm not going to give it away, but we're going to have some good stuff that's going to be coming out here for our Patreon members at www.patreon.com/ALWT Gaming, and again that's www.patreon.com/ALWT Gaming. All right, so definitely check us out. Give us a like, give us a follow, and we are still looking. Our logo's on the way. We're having a brand new logo coming out, and we are still looking for that perfect sound. We've gotten quite a few submissions, so shout out to everybody that has sent out their submissions to us. But we're looking for that perfect sound to go ahead and be our intro and outro for every episode of All Things Gaming and any future streams that we may do. All right. If you guys believe you have that sound, and again, not saying that the people that had submitted theirs that yours are not getting picked. We're listening to everything, and then we will be reaching out to the creator. By next Sunday, which I don't know what date that is, but this coming Sunday, pretty much, is when we're going to choose that. We're going to reach out to you via email.
28.
28. There you go. Perfect. So if you guys are make beats, DJ, anything like that, please send in your submissions to atleastwetry.gaming@gmail.com. Again, that's atleastwetry.gaming@gmail.com. But also, and you probably won't hear a lot of people say this because we want to make sure you guys are looked out after it as well. Not saying that we're going to do this, but if you guys do send in your submission, please throw in a disclaimer saying ALWT, At Least We Try Gaming, cannot use this for commercial gain or anything like that without purchase. Okay, we want to make sure again that you guys are protected. We want to make sure that again that we're not using anything that we're not supposed to be using, which again we're not going to. But again, some of these people that are sending in their submissions, they're strangers to us as we are to you. So we want to make sure you guys are protected, the whole nine. Please submit that in through email, which again at least we tried .gaming@gmail.com. So, we're about to wrap it up here. And real fast, as we close it out, I want to ask you, Trev.
Yeah.
Bleeding Aces. The one, the only. What games are you currently playing?
Currently I'm playing Mech Warrior 5. And that's the one I'm currently playing right now. It's Mech Warrior 5.
Okay.
It still plays Smite and ESO, but that's the single player one.
Okay. And how you liking it? Like, is there anything that's new about that you were expecting? Is it like what's your thoughts about it?
I think it's actually pretty fun. You just got to get used to moving as the mech because you're so used to just hitting the left thumbstick or just hitting over and you turn, but you got to move your legs over too.
Right.
So, and you got to move your body over and you got to repair your mech. It's really about. It's as much about military, about sitting your mechs in, as it is about managing your resources. Because you can lose the game by going essentially broke. Okay. If you burn through too much money trying to fix your mechs up and not get enough money, or if you piss off everybody, you might not really get contracts.
Right.
So these are the things you got to manage when you're playing this game.
Heard that. The game that I'm currently playing is The Last of Us Part 2, as you guys already know from before earlier. That game is crazy, and I'm not going to go into it too much because, again, spoilers for anyone that hasn't watched it. You guys probably already seen some spoiler casts over the weekend. I know Kind of Funny Games did their spoiler cast, I think, this past Friday, since Greg Miller and Blessing Out AOA Jr. had already played it because they get the reviews. They were able to get a review code and all that good stuff and play it. I don't know if they beat it. I don't think they did, but again, I could be wrong. They may
I
have.
think I actually seen it. I want to say on the Rad Brad or something, one of those, because sometimes I have the channels and they'll quickly start playing it. Because I've seen some of the first play. Only thing I'm gonna say about that is if you have not played it, it's best to go in blind. And if you have not played the first part, like I haven't, I've played some of the first part. I haven't beaten it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really not looking at part 2. I don't want to spoil anything from part 1 going into part 2.
Yeah. And it segues so well, and it's such a beautiful game, but it definitely has a different feel to it. And I can't wait to go swimming. I can't, because Ellie couldn't go swimming when in the first one she didn't know how to swim. This one she does seem to have a little bit more matureness to her, so she's able to do so. I'm just very excited to see where this game's going to take me. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me, but if you guys want to go ahead and check that out, again, we're going to be on Twitch TV, so Twitch, www.twitch.tv/ at least we tried gaming, which is ALWT Gaming. So don't type in at least we tried, type in ALWT Gaming. So that pretty much wraps it up for today's episode of All Things Gaming, episode 3. Thank you guys very, very much for tuning in.
I got one quick thing.
Aces, yeah, go for it.
Okay, while I couldn't find the Xbox free games, I did find the Epic free game, and it is Pathway for this week and Air Memories of Old and Stranger Things 3 for the next 2 weeks.
Stranger Things 3, that's free?
That's going to be next week's free game.
Whew. All right, I already know what I'm getting on the Epic Game Store. That's what I'm talking about. Wait, Stranger Things. No, I'm thinking Life is Strange too. That's
Life. Yeah, Stranger Things is going to be based off. Remember that TV show on Netflix?
Yeah.
It's based off that.
Yeah, that's why I kind of second guessed it, because I was like, that sounds familiar, but I feel like so never mind. Take that back. It's not Life is Strange too. So, and once again, we've already said this before, saying it once more again. Please definitely make sure you guys are checking out our social media pages. Again, for any follows. If you're on YouTube, hit the notification bell, subscribe, the whole 9. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Control Alt Complete. Have a good one, guys.